A finer alternative to Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan, although not perfect, is Gibson's 2016 feature Hacksaw Ridge, which championed the true story, though embellished to an extent by this screenplay, of Desmond Doss, a pacifistic combat medic who fought for the United States during the Pacific theatre of the Second World War. Hacksaw Ridge's violence is far from pleasant, and although it may reduce the horrors of a PTSD-inducing, bloody, fiery battlefield to a carnival ride simulation, it is hardly an encouragement to enlist in the military either. Hacksaw Ridge is surprisingly more tasteful and sincere an attempt at the anti-war film. It might not pass Truffaut's test entirely, though it is closer to the likes of Klimov's Come and See, or Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket, or Eastwood's Let Us Meet Ujima, than the spectacular operatic action of Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan, the Hollywood melodrama of Camino's The Deer Hunter, or Stone's Platoon, or the fetishistic neoliberal amoral apathy of Bigelow's The Hurt Locker, or still earlier, the grandiose standards set by Milestone's All Quiet on the Western Front, Hawks, Sergeant York, and or Kubrick's own Paths of Glory, dryly squeezed by the likes of Ayer's Fury, Mendes' 1917, and Berger's All Quiet on the Western Front. Was anything as good as The Thin Red Line, though? Maybe not. Though I do really like Samuel Fuller, he was an interesting fellow and filmmaker. Gibson is a contentious figure. I'm loyal to the original Mad Max trilogy, the greatest film trilogy and quadrilogy of all time, clearly, though his directorial efforts have been an odd mixture. The initial feature, Man Without a Face, has disappeared down the culture's memory hole. Braveheart is something. I have a video on it, check that out for my expanded thoughts, and then between that and 2016's Hacksaw Ridge, of course, We Will Love Apocalypto, his most well-liked film now, wherein Gibson, having helmed the project, doesn't condemn it a priori. I am very fond, though it is not a film which is without its capacity to incite upset, of, to an extent, The Passion of the Christ, a rather openly honest filmic composition of an amalgamated Gospels, post-grit, post-dirty realism, post or contemporary to digital. It was celluloid in the digital era. The first film shot entirely on digital came out in 2002, Lucas's Attack of the Clones. If only it had been a better film and not a sloppy, awkward mess, which brings down the reputation of the much-maligned Star Wars prequel trilogy. In Passion of the Christ, a rather openly honest filmic composition of an amalgamated Gospels, frankly, warts and all, although I do believe that the film's most potent point of contention, the charges of anti-Semitic tropes and caricatures, are inevitably in keeping with the Catholic Church's stagings of the Stations of the Cross. As a document of an artistic tradition via a contemporary pathos, The Passion of the Christ only sought to be artistically honest, and should Gibson have attempted to make this more clear to the public at large before the widespread release of this potentially or certainly provocative film? Yes, as well as a lot of other things he did apparently before and certainly afterward, which seem to illuminate the film's intent in many observers, and I cannot blame them, truly. Witnessing The Passion of the Christ as a willingly amoral extraterrestrial, it is one of the most convicted works of art in our species' history. In adapting something so essential, imbued and timeless to the current cultures, it was inescapably a display of a distinct, transformative, contemporary, creative, techno-aesthetic process. Anyway, check out Noel Oakeshot's piece on this film on Passion of the Christ at Interview Online, as well as the Disney Adult YouTube channel's recent-ish livestream on the film. Very informative, elucidating analyses. At one time, Mel Gibson was to direct a remake of The Wild Bunch, and I must say that I so badly had wanted to see that project fulfilled, but not quite as much even as the sequel, the exalted follow-up to The Passion of the Christ, The Resurrection. Will we ever see another feature film directed by Mel Gibson? I would hope that we do, yes.